Alright, there's a new sale called PlayStation Indies going on at the moment, and look, I don't want to cover every single sale that comes out because I think it becomes a little bit too much, not only for you guys to watch all the content, because I think it becomes kind of redundant for you guys at a certain point, but also this one here has over 1,340 games in this sale, which is insane. But I did want to make a video just letting you know it exists. This sale here actually looks pretty damn good. There's a lot of really decent stuff in here, and I thought maybe what we could do is just have a look through some of the stuff on here together and give you guys an idea of maybe some of the top picks I would pick out from this one. We'll do it a little bit differently than how I traditionally do sales videos because I don't want to do a full breakdown. I just don't have the time to go through 1,300 different games, and there's a lot of stuff in here that's meh as well. But if we look at the first couple of pages at least, Disco Elysium, which is a brand new game basically, is getting a 30% price drop down to $27.99 from $40. Pretty damn good here, I would say. This is the first time we've seen Disco Elysium discounted. Critically acclaimed RPG that came out like last year on PC, I believe, and just come to PlayStation now. So, well, PlayStation, not PlayStation Now. So it could be worth checking out if you're looking for that to play. Hunt Showdown is a game that I'm in love with. I'm really obsessed with Hunt. You guys know I talk about it all the time. Really cool first-person sort of battle royale PvPvE game where you're basically hunting these PvE monsters, but then avoiding players at the same time. So it creates this really cool competitive edge to a first-person competitive game. Pretty cool game. And for like $17.99, this game always retains a very high price point for some reason. I don't know why exactly, but it is worth it. You know, there's that. I get very thirsty when recording these videos. I've got myself a green tea here to help satiate me through this one. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is $9. Pretty decent here too. Hellblade was like one of the massively critically acclaimed games that came out a number of years ago. The developer got bought by Xbox, so we probably won't see another one of these on PlayStation, but a really fun sort of third-person, narrative-driven, psychological game. If you're liking sort of psychological thriller-style games, it's a great one to check out. Friday the 13th is, you know, it's not the best isometric horror game. I think Dead by Daylight's much better, but $3.74, I think you're going to have a lot of fun with that. Online game, obviously, so it means there is a bunch of content in here to enjoy. And for that price, it's pretty good. Oddworld Soulstorm, you know, 20% off here for the PlayStation 4, PS5 versions. It was free on PS5 though, so I don't know why you would buy this now. So we'll skip over that. Secret Neighbor, I believe, is a new game as well from the My Neighbor or something Neighbor. I can't remember what that one was called. Discounted down to $15.99. You know, you can take that or leave it. Crysis Remastered wasn't the best remaster of a game, down to $15, so half price on that one. Crysis being, you know, a really classic first-person game. Job Simulator is a fantastic VR game if you're looking for something to play on VR. You've probably already checked it out though if you have PlayStation VR. And Goose Game is fantastic as well, 40% off here. You get to play as a goose and wreak havoc. The Outlast games are also discounted, now that I see it. $3.99 and $5.99, which is not bad for these horror games. If you're into horror type content, I think these are some of the best horror games that have come out on the PS4 this generation as well. Risk of Rain 2 is also fantastic for $10. There's a lot of very good stuff in here, like I said. So you've got that in there too. Bloodstained is another game I'm a massive fan of. Metroidvania, Castlevania style game here. Really decent. Man, there's just so much. There's actually just so much content in here. The only other ones I want to call out on this page were Blair Witch, 50% off, and The Wolf Among Us, 60% off here at $5.99, which is not bad for Wolf Among Us. Really fun sort of narrative-driven adventure game in here. Now, I will say for trophy hunters, there's a bunch of stuff later on in this sale too. If you get through to page like 20 to 25, there's a bunch of Radlika games. So if you're looking to bump up your trophy numbers with like 50% off, 80% off Radlika titles, I don't condone buying them. I think that's a really bad way of earning platinums. I think it's unhealthy. But I know that, you know, a lot of you guys out there want to do it, so I'm going to make you aware of it, so you can do it if you want to. Daymare 1998. It's an interesting one. It's like a Resident Evil clone, basically. It's a clone of sort of Resident Evil 2 and 3. It came out in 2020, and it's an interesting 2D. Not 2D, 3D, third-person shooter game, very similar to those Resident Evil games. I think the guys who made this clearly love Resident Evil in a big way, and they actually announced a sequel to it. So it's like a low budget or A or AA tier Resident Evil. I actually had a good time with it. It is a bit janky and clunky in some parts, but you can see there's a ton of love for that franchise in there. That's Daymare. I Had in Time is a really cool mascot platformer as well if you're looking for something that kind of reminds you of those sort of Super Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie type games. I think it's a lot like those. I had a good time with that one too. The Blackout Club's one I've been wanting to check out for a while. I watched a lot of gameplay for this on Twitch, and it seems actually like it could be a lot of fun. It's an online game you play as a group of kids avoiding, I guess, enemies. I guess like the isometric sort of gameplay as well, like one person's the bad guy and then you've got the heroes. Curious to see if anyone's played that and what they have opinions on it, if it's worth checking out. Interested to see. Got another couple of Telltale games here, easy plats in those, the Batman games. Not bad, but they do get discounted more than that normally. Taxi Chaos is still a little bit high on this one. I actually played that. I recorded a review for this game and I never published it. I should probably get around to doing that at some point. I didn't really enjoy it that much personally, but I mean, if you're a Crazy Taxi fan, then maybe you will. Psychologic 2 is another game I also never got around to playing. I've always meant to. Nexomon Extinction is like a Pokemon style game if you guys are into that or looking for something like that. It's an interesting little game. Not as good as Pokemon obviously, but you know, it's an option. Nothing really of note here. I mean, Soma down to $3 is great. Soma's a really cool psychological horror game, very similar to Bioshock, I would say, in terms of tone and very similar gameplay style as well. Donut County was a really fun game. You play as the hole, basically. It's kind of like Katamari, where you're playing as the thing and you're sucking up everything around you as the game goes on. It's pretty enjoyable though, and I had a really good time with that one. I mean, let me know if I've missed some stuff as well, guys, by the way, in the comments. You know, shout out if there's things here that I've missed that you say, hey, this is a really good game, it's worth checking out. There's a bunch of stuff that's discounted here. I mean, if I was going to call out every single game, I'd be here all day. I just don't. I just there's too much in here, I think, to do it justice. And call out like I normally do. I think the videos would just be far too long, which is why I thought sort of scrolling through like this and just sort of showing everyone what's available to us, at least in these first few pages, is probably a better way of doing it. As you get on, you'll find that the games do decrease in quality. That's always sort of the way with these sales. You tend to kind of get top billing towards the start, the first sort of 5 to 10 pages. Although, you know, we're now on like page, 11, and Telling Lies is on here. It's a really cool game that's very unique in the way it tells its story. Kind of like those FMV games that have been coming out from Wales Interactive over the last couple of years. Quite a cool sort of different type of experience. I'm feeling for that. Pumpkin Jack is also another really cool one. I played that and I recorded a review for that game as well, which I never ended up publishing. And I quite enjoyed it. It was very similar to Medieval in terms of gameplay, like that mascot hack and slash game style or gameplay style. Could be worth checking out if you're into Medieval or a big fan of Medieval. I would recommend it. Beach Buggy was an easy plat. I mean, it's probably not easy by today's standards, especially when you compare it to something like Concept Destruction, which is a very easy platinum. I think half an hour to an hour to platinum those ones. And I think we're starting to get to that level of game now. Freddy Spaghetti, another pretty easy platinum, where there's a bunch of easy plat trophies here. That's probably where I'm gonna stop it. Because yeah, we're starting to get 112th seed, another really easy platinum. So yeah, this is where they sort of kick on. This is where I think I'm gonna stop, because I think it becomes a bit redundant when you're just going through pages and pages of content here. But hopefully with those first couple of pages, at least I've given you a bit of an idea of things that are available. It's worth really scrolling through this sale and looking for some stuff that that maybe you've been waiting for a little while, because there's actually a bunch of really good discounts in here, especially if you're on a budget. If you're looking for cheap games, this is the one for you. There's a bunch of really good discounts in here of cheap indie style games, which may be smaller experiences, but if you've only got a few bucks to spend, if you spend $10 in here, if you're smart about it, you could probably get like 5 or 6 games for $10 if you're really smart about the games you pick up, and they could last you hundreds of hours depending on what it is you buy, whether it's an online multiplayer game, whether it's a single player game. But if you're looking for, value in terms of time or value in terms of quality, they're two different things. Actually, let me know in the comments. I can do a video about that if you're interested, talking about like games that you'll be able to spend a lot of time with or not much time with. Let me know if you like that idea for a video concept. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this slightly different type of video than I normally make, but I sort of wanted to chuck something out for this sale, but just, I wasn't really sure how to best tackle it, or how I'm even going to cut this video together now that I've recorded it. I'm not sure if it even works, or if you're just never going to see me talking like this, just like so many of my videos. They never see the light of day. If you enjoyed this, leave a comment down below, leave a like, and subscribe if you're new as well. I do cover a lot of sales. We cover a lot of other PlayStation and gaming topics on the channel too. And yeah, I'd really appreciate a sub to the channel. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Patrons, thank you so very much for each and every one of your generosity this month. You'll be seeing your names coming up here on the right hand side if you're a Patreon or a channel member on the YouTube channel this month. If you want to support me, if you do decide you want to support me further and help keep this channel's lights on, link in the description down below to become a Patreon, or you can click on the join button down below next to the subscribe button to become a channel member. Thanks, you guys, you're all legends.